Welcome back to the channel, everyone. So we had an eventful Japanese GP. We had a huge crash. We had a safety car strategy mess things up. We had McLaren's finally deciding to wake up. Overall, a good race and a lot of things to dissect and analyze. So let's get right into it. Also, before we start, I couldn't personally watch the race live as it was happening because I was at church and me and my wife were doing this. Yes, me and my wife led worship in church yesterday. So if you want to know how we sing or like how talented my wife is, go check out the link in the description. I'll leave the link to the service. And without further ado, let's get started. Firstly, the race was delayed by 10 minutes. Why? Just before the race, during a race weekend, on the same days of telecast, you have other races happening like Formula 2, Formula 3 races and all happening. And just before the race for Formula 1, we had a Porsche Carrera Cup that was happening, and that cup had one massive accident. That race had one car flipping over the boundary and going beyond the fence. So the marshals and the track officials had to repair the border boundaries, everything, and the safety fences. It took time, and because of that, we had a 10-minute delay to the Formula 1 start. And this was our starting grid. Now, first, let's analyze the race start. Okay, so we know historically, or at least when I say historically, based on the data from the last two races, Ferrari have a great start. We don't know how the McLarens are in the race starts because half of them never started, right? But what surprised us all was Oscar Piastri getting into the lead. So if anything, we expected Leclerc or Hamilton to move through the grid and take up the first couple of positions, but no, Oscar Piastri had an amazing start. It's not all credits to Oscar because clearly both the Mercedes cars had a poor start, especially Kimi. He went from first place to fifth place before the first corner. The Ferrari of Charles Leclerc got into P2, so this is McLaren P1, Ferrari P2. But the thing is, both Lewis and Norris behind these Mercedes also had a good start, but there is a lot of traffic in front and the cars driving backwards in essence, right? Because Kimi Antonelli lost so many places. These guys didn't find good enough gap to go lunge ahead and secure a top 3 position, so they were kind of blocked by the cars ahead. And naturally, that's what happens in a race start. You get a good start and you block the other cars from getting proper free air into the front, and that's the reason why Leclerc and Piastri got away with it, but Norris and Lewis Hamilton couldn't go into the front of the field. But yes, the top 6 shuffled among each other. In the back, we had Audi having terrible start, so both the Audis dropping down in the grid gave Max Verstappen a push into the top 10, and pretty much every car behind just got 1 or 2 steps ahead by nature of Audis falling backwards. Now, once the opening lap is over, we kind of see the actual race pace of all of these cars because now everybody is getting into the groove, and we obviously know Mercedes has better power and their race pace is insane compared to every other team. Yes, race starts are done now. When the race pace kicks in, both Kimi and George start making moves. George comes back to P2 by end of lap 4, and Kimi Antonelli also starts making moves on Hamilton, and he's also climbing up places. One interesting thing which is more closely related to racecraft that I saw was in the sector 3 how certain drivers managed to avoid getting overtaken. Basically, sector 3 is the 130R and all of that long full power region where essentially you are depleting all your battery, and if you are smart enough, you would have super clipped, and in braking you would have had a decent chunk of battery recharged by that point. So Piastri and Russell are fighting for the race lead, and Piastri does something really interesting. So he gives up the lead to George Russell just before the overtake mode detection point, right? Which is towards the turn 15, that chicane at turn 15. He literally gets overtaken by George, and the minute you come back to the straights, George does not have enough power. Secondly, Oscar Piastri now has overtake mode, which gives him even more electrical power. So he overtakes him back cleanly in the long straight. And at this point, at around lap 15, Oscar makes this statement that if they do not lose track position, they have a chance to win the race. What does that exactly mean? Losing track position. Basically, he knows that George cannot overtake him on pure race pace at the moment. If they lose track position because Mercedes suddenly pit and undercut them, and when they come out of the pits with fresher tires and they are a little late to getting pit, they might lose the track position purely because of pit stop strategies. So they didn't want to get undercut by Mercedes, and that started the most unlucky series of events for some of the drivers. So by lap 16, we start getting the split strategies between all of these teams. Like one driver gets the first pit stop and the other driver gets to stay a little longer. First Norris pits, and to cover off the undercut from Norris, Leclerc pits, and then to cover off Leclerc, Piastri pits to cover off that move. Again, Russell pits, and lap 22, we had the safety car. In the top 6, there were 2 lucky drivers, which were Kimi Antonelli and Lewis Hamilton. Both of them hadn't pitted because they were on the alternate strategy compared to their teammate. And I think every team did the right thing. It is just pure luck that the safety car timing ruined the race for 4 out of the 6 top 6. And necessarily, I think even Lewis Hamilton kind of ruined his race because of this strategy, because he did not have power through the rest of the race as much as anybody else. So really, out of the top 5, the only one driver that got lucky was the race winner, Kimi Antonelli. Now let's take a minute to talk about the Ollie Bearman crash. Okay, so when I looked at the crash, what it reminded me of was another crash in 2024 between Russell and Alonso. Now, Russell's in a Mercedes 2024. This is Australian GP. Last lap, or the penultimate lap, okay? Russell has been hunting Alonso down for a long time, and he's about to make the pass just before the last lap, okay? And Alonso drives unreasonably slow, which is 50 kph or something slower, and that completely catches George off guard. Okay, so what happens? George, without even hitting Alonso, flips his car in the middle of the road because he's trying to avoid that crash. He goes into the sides of the barriers and he literally has the car right in the middle of the road, upside down. Not upside down, on its side, right? And you know what happened? When the FIA investigated the crash, Fernando Alonso was given a 20-second penalty for causing the crash, for driving surprisingly slow on a corner. The penalty that FIA has given to a driver for driving slow on accident or on purpose was 20 seconds because that's how dangerous it is. This FIA knows how dangerous it is when a driver ahead is driving slow compared to the expectation of the driver behind. And that's exactly what has happened during the Ollie Bearman Colapinto crash. So Ollie never necessarily touched Colapinto. Colapinto also didn't shut the door or do anything unreasonable or illegal. He just drove slow because he was harvesting. We don't know the full extent of the investigation. We just know on the day of the investigation, FIA has cleared that there is no wrongdoing. So we are assuming good intentions with Colapinto. He didn't necessarily do it on purpose. But his car at that time was 50 kph slower than before, which meant Ollie Bearman expected to go fast to get the move done, but he was taken aback by the speed or the lack of speed from Colapinto. He had to avoid, go into the grass, and went sideways into the barrier at 50G. Now this 50G is almost the same as the crash impact that Max Verstappen had in 2021 in Silverstone first lap, right? It is not by any means a small, simple crash. This is huge, and Ollie Bearman actually walked away. Thank God he is okay. I think he's hurt his leg. He was limping. He was seen limping. I think it is a contusion or something. I don't know what the word they used for was. But yes, he has a small leg injury, which I think over the next 4 weeks will be perfectly fine. No fractures. All of that is well and good, but I'm just bringing attention back to the safety concerns. As per Carlos Sainz, so many drivers have highlighted this aspect of safety to the FIA so many times, even before the regulations were like finalized, but apparently the FIA did nothing. So that just makes me even more angry about FIA and the way these regulations have been like done. But yes, right after the race, we saw the statement from FIA which said like they are going to take a second look at all of the regulations. And I do get where FIA is coming from. The regulations were never meant to be set in stone. They were going to experiment, they were going to look at results, and then they were going to make these changes. So do I trust the FIA to make changes? Listen, last time, one of the biggest changes that FIA did in terms of like major format and things was the way sprint race weekends were organized, right? If you remember 2021, when sprint races were introduced, the race weekends were horrible. We had one practice followed by qualifying on Friday. We had a practice on Saturday and the sprint race on Saturday evening. And that sprint race ka order decided the starting grid for Sunday, which was all completely different from how it happens right now, right? So I do believe FIA eventually changes to a structure. Right now, nobody complains about sprint weekends, and in fact, it is a lot of people's favorite weekend as well, because they get to see a lot more racing and qualifying action. So yes, the FIA listens to people and makes changes, but it is just unfortunate that they had to wait for an actual crash to happen to then come out and release a statement that they are definitely going to check. But I am hopeful that the regulations will slowly wiggle itself to find a comfortable spot between the drivers and finding the racing good. Because honestly, I know the drivers say that it is not talent, it is the car that does the overtake. You press a button, Mario Kart, yes, you get the overtake done. But DRS was the same too. You press the button, your wing opens, and then suddenly, yes, you got an overtake done. And what DRS did was it made the race so predictable. You just finished one lap, waited for the DRS zone, and then the overtake happened right at the edge of the DRS zone, right? It made overtakes predictable, and the fact that we now have a different kind of mushroom, yes, makes the overtakes a little more unpredictable. It happens at different parts of the track. So yes, pros and cons. Drivers seem to not like the fact that there isn't talent involved as much in racing. It's all about the cars at the moment. But again, like I said, see, this is the beginning of the regulations, right? And not every car company has figured out, not every team has figured out how to capitalize on these new regulations. Some of them have started off on the wrong foot. Eventually, the developments and the upgrades will bunch the group much more closer together. And then we'll start seeing proper driver talent come up, right? When the Mercedes car is comparable to a Red Bull car, or the other way around. When the Red Bull catches up to Mercedes, yes, now we will see who's the better driver, who is Kimi Antonelli, Russell, or Max Verstappen, or Hadjar, right? When the cars are so far apart technologically, yes, the overtakes look manufactured. All of these Mario Kart references will die away when the technology catches up to each other. But at the moment, yes, whatever the drivers saying are all true. Right now, it is very skewed towards the team that got the tech correct at the moment. So we are looking forward to the next 4 weeks. If people can catch up to Mercedes, all their upgrades can come much closer. Yeah, that's on the crash and my rant on FIA's decisions and the regulations. Now let's move on to what happened after the safety car. So yes, the only lucky duck in all of this is Kimi Antonelli. He's leading the race. Russell is P3 now, but Russell starts developing this weird power unit issue. So Piastri got unlucky, but at least he didn't drop down the order. He was P2. He managed to hold on to P2 till the end of the race, and Kimi Antonelli also had fresh air and then just scooted away after the race restart. Russell had a bad restart again. Hamilton got into the podium paces with the race restart. He overtook Russell. But again, Hamilton also had an issue. He kept complaining because he was not just losing power, the car was gradually becoming slow towards the end of the race. So he even lost out to Norris in the end. Charles Leclerc, who was found on the unlucky end of the safety car timing, also got a chance to battle it out with Hamilton. He literally told the engineers, yes, hey, I am much faster than Hamilton. I'm losing time behind Hamilton, and they had a very decent battle. I don't know what the thing between these Ferrari drivers are. See, the reason I think they don't crash into each other is because they are teammates. But the most entertaining bit in this season has always been the Ferrari battles. In all three races, they were going wheel to wheel with a little bit of margin. There is no room for error, but their racing has been fantastic. Charles Leclerc eventually overtook Lewis Hamilton. Lewis gave Charles Leclerc a lot of hard time, but yes, Charles Leclerc took P3, and that was pretty much your podium, first, second, and third. It was so good to see three different cars on the podium. But before that, there is one other back and forth that I wanted to highlight. Okay, this is all about George Russell's racecraft. Okay, I think man needs to grow up and step up and start thinking and stop complaining. I know I'm being very mean here. Let me tell you why. Okay, fall for the trick once, it is the person playing the tricks his fault. Fall for the trick twice, it is your fault. Okay, he just in the beginning of the race fell for the trick of overtaking Piastri just at the end of sector 3 and Piastri overtaking him back in the long straight. Why would you make the same move all over again on Charles Leclerc? You are fighting for a podium spot. Okay, why would you not try and overtake him or plan an overtake on any other part of the track? You had to wait till the last part of the track, and Charles Leclerc let him overtake, got the overtake mode boost, and then overtook him on the straight all over again. My friend, stop complaining, start playing mind games. Okay, you fell for the same trick twice in the same race. And I know George had a faulty engine, PU was giving him power, and that's all the more reason not to do the exact same thing. If when your engine was working fine and you couldn't overtake Piastri by making that move, then why would you make the same move when your engine is not 100%? I don't get it. I think George Russell, if anything, this weekend got such a wake-up call about his championship possibilities, because if he doesn't step up, if he doesn't start playing mind games, if he doesn't act like a proper racing driver and become all selfish, I think he's not only going to lose the championship, he might even lose the seat to, I am not saying anything more. May or may not happen. I'm just saying I was just disappointed to see George Russell, the man, Mr. Consistent, do silly race mistakes like this. But I think it could be a one-off. I'm sure he will learn his lesson, and the next track he'll do much better. So now we've finished talking about the front of the grid. Now let's talk about the rest of the grid, which is, I think at this point it is safe to say that Red Bull are a proper midfield car. Yes, I have gone ahead and said it, admitted it. Max seems to think so. He's okay. He's not really bothered by P7 and P8 anymore. He feels like that's where the team belongs. I don't think he believes that that's where he belongs, but he thinks with the team and the race package that the team has, that's where he belongs. Again, if you haven't seen my qualifying analysis video, I made a comment on why Max Verstappen is unreasonably slow with these new regulations and with the new car. If you haven't seen it, go check it out. I do talk a lot about Max's understeer and his steering angle. And in fact, during the race, he also made another comment, which was that his steering felt like it had lost power steering. Right? What is power steering in your car, right? Instead of doing all of these circles, you turn and the car fully turns, right? That is power steering. So basically, if the Max is complaining that his steering feels like it doesn't have power steering, it means he is turning a lot to make that change. So I was right. Max is having problems with understeer and power steering issues, which means the car is horribly balanced. The weight balance of the car is so poor that there is so much of weight in the front that is pulling the car to the front and it is not letting the car turn. Like I mentioned in the previous video, if you haven't watched it, please do watch it. I do mention with data why Max's steering angle is so different and what are the remedies that Red Bull can do to fix this. It all has to do with weight distribution. So I think Red Bull has a lot of work to do. I do want to give a shout out to Pierre Gasly. My man, after 8 years, has decent battles with Max and is consistently winning. Pierre Gasly, as you may or may not know, was Max Verstappen's ex-teammate who got kicked out of Red Bull in half a season because the gap between Gasly and Max was so huge. And to see Pierre Gasly have such fun battles and Max not being able to catch up to an Alpine, yes, for Red Bull fans, it's tragic. But yes, that is part of racing. And what goes around comes around, I guess. Pierre Gasly has been one of the most hardworking race drivers and the most deserving race drivers. He was definitely affected by the second seat curse at Red Bull. And it is so good to see Gasly getting a lot of attention and consistently finishing in the top 6. And yes, he finished ahead of both Red Bulls. So yeah, well done, Pierre Gasly. There were also winners and losers in the second half of the grid based on the timing of the safety car. Liam Lawson got lucky because he didn't pit, but Arvid Lindblad got unlucky. So he dropped from points and Liam got into points because of the safety car, and their race was kind of like just compromised ever since the safety car. Same with Hadjar. Hadjar got unlucky with the safety car. Max got lucky, but yes, he was still like stuck behind the Pierre Gasly. He watched the rear spoiler of Pierre Gasly throughout. There were a lot of other drivers who got their strategies messed up because of the safety car, but they technically would not have gotten into the top 10 in any way, or even if they did, they would have gotten overtaken. So not much to speak about that. There has been two big highlights that happened, good things that have happened this race. One is we actually had all 22 cars start the race and survive lap 1, which is actually a big deal because pretty much half the commentaries, half the podcasts that I listened to said that they don't expect 22 cars to start. Now, second thing, and Aston Martin finished a full race. Fernando Alonso finished. Papa Fernando has finished a full race. Yes, he became a dad this week and he finished the race. So yes, that's a win in our books. Not only did he finish the race, he finished it ahead of a Williams and a Cadillac. So yes, as far as the luck of Aston Martin has been, or see, I don't want to say luck. It is not by luck that they are bad. They were bad because they are a mismanaged team. But yes, luck when it comes to Fernando Alonso, yes. He has finished the race and that is a start of a promising year, I feel. I just hope he gets into points at least once this year. From begging for Alonso to get another podium last year to begging him to get into points, look how the tables have turned. Yeah, it is depressing, but yes, finished the race. Next thing, finishing in points. Let's go. That's kind of it for the Japanese GP analysis. If there is anything specific you want me to talk about, I know we have an entire month till the next race, so I can make a lot more videos, especially if you want me to talk more about Red Bull. Yes, I have talked about Red Bull and their issues, but if you want me to talk a little more in a separate video, let me know in the comments because I want to make videos that you guys want to see. So if you want me to make a video on anything specific, yes, let me know. I will probably do some analysis and try to explain it better. So please keep the comment sections active. What you say means a lot and matters to me. So I got a lot of comments in the last video saying how much you missed these long format videos and you're happy that these longer videos are back. I didn't know you guys missed it. I just felt like nobody was watching it and it takes a long time. See, longer video means longer time to record, edit, plan, and see. While the video might be 10 to 15 minutes long, but I make so many mistakes while speaking, so which means I'm recording for half an hour or more and then cutting it into pieces and all of that. So it is a lot of work, especially for somebody who has a day job, right? So if you really liked these videos, do keep the comment section active and share it with your friends. Clip it, talk about it, do whatever you want with it. But it helps me get something out of YouTube, because YouTube is not where I am big. I am big on Instagram, that is short form videos that are very different when it comes to making it, and that's a lot more to do with hook, and that's a lot more to do with specific one instance that you talk about. Here I get to talk about the whole race in its whole essence, right? So we are not doing one topic at a time, we are bunching up a bunch of topics together. I am definitely giving this long format videos another shot. If you love it, let me know. If you like it, if you want to have a discussion, please let me know in the comments so that I can do this properly. See, in Instagram you would send me a DM and it is nice, but YouTube doesn't have DM feature, so you have to comment so that I know what you're talking about, have the discussion going on. So that's it for the Japanese GP. We have a month break. I shall catch you in the next video. You don't have to wait a month for it. I'll make more videos in the next few days as well. Okay, like, share, subscribe, and see you. Bye.